Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, right at 7:30 p.m. on East Coast. So on time for when I said I was coming on, right from my usual 7 p.m. I know I was spending a lot of time today, believe it or not, on some deals trying to raise money here or there. And boy, did it suck up all of my time. And I didn't know what I should do today's show on. So I had to jump through hoops on that one too. So a very busy work day for me today. So that's why I'm a tad late, but I know I couldn't do my 20 shows in a row because I was out there running around. So I said, you know what? That's okay. I am going to still try to make it up to the best of my ability. So yes, I am here yet again. I am trying my best to keep showing up to the best of my ability. So yes, thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. And the thing that I thought was interesting is I started thinking about something. It's a very interesting thing I want to bring up here. I remember a story from the Revolutionary War after America won the Revolutionary War. It's a story. After the Americans won the Revolutionary War and the Brits decided we're going to walk away, the Americans want to try to have good relations with everyone around the world because Americans want to go trade, right? So we want to send our ambassadors around the world. Well, a lot of countries were upset at us. They were like, no, you guys are bad guys. You're this stupid democracy thing. Monarchies are the only way to have, real governments. What are you guys talking about? You guys are a disaster. No, a lot of countries were kind of like mad at us. And most of them, of course, eventually acquiesced, but they're upset. And I remember one story of someone saying, oh, you want us to send an ambassador? Should we send one or should we send 13? This type of joke, pushback, dismissiveness to pushback. But we kept going. We pushed anyway as America, a young country, trying to show that we were important and valuable, and we kept pushing out. Just goes back to showing one of our biggest trading partners was the people we just had a war with, which was the Brits. And then we went to war with them again about 50 years later, 40 years later, War of 1812. And at that war, most people don't know this, we lost that war. People won't tell you that. We lost the War of 1812. There's no doubt we lost that war. How do you know that? They burned our capital. D.C. was burned during that war, except for one building was not burned. That was the Marine Barracks. That's correct. The one building that was not burned was the Marine Barracks. Don't forget that. Marine Barracks was not burned during that war, but every other building was burned. But you say, but Larry, we won a battle. We did win a battle. We won the Battle of New Orleans. In fact, Andrew Jackson was the commander of that battle, and we won that battle. And that was awesome. One minor thing, that battle was won after the war was over. Yeah, we fought that battle after the war was already over. We'd already discussed peace in, I think was it London? I forgot where somewhere in Europe, we discussed peace. We had signed the peace treaty. We were done. And the word didn't get back to New Orleans until after the battle was over. So we did win a battle. That didn't matter. So I guess, yeah. But what did we do? We still kept talking to our enemies, people we just fought with. Vietnam, same thing. Spoke to them. I mean, it took years later, but of course, someone had to go back. And one of the people who went back was John McCain, who was literally a prisoner there. Went back to Vietnam to talk to our enemies, right? Again, not just that. Nixon went to China, right? He hated China. He went to China. Reagan, while he was, trying to bankrupt the Soviet Union, was still talking to them. He was still having back and forth, détente, all the things he had, making the START talks. He was still doing all those things, talking to our enemies while we fight with them. So am I saying, because of what I just said, that I'm happy with or care about or it matters to me that Trump invites Xi Jinping to his inauguration? No, I do not think those things are exactly the same. Do I think we should be talking to Xi Jinping? 100%. I think the dialogue should be absolutely open to them. Dialogue should be open to everybody. Putin, all of them. The dialogue should always be open. It doesn't mean we should be having dinner with them all the time and having them. I'm not saying that, but dialogue should always be open, no matter what. Not even people who were literally fighting a war with them. We were at war. We should have been talking to the Taliban. Everybody, we leave. The conversation should be open regardless of what else is happening. That piece is important. I think we should always be thinking that no matter what. However, I'm a little concerned about the idea of inviting Xi Jinping to Trump's inauguration. And you might go, Larry, it doesn't make any sense. You just spent this whole last 5 minutes telling us how conversation's good, huggy kissy, be nice to people. Yes, accurate. But the problem is the inauguration is something special. Why? I'm going to give you a list of all the foreign leaders who've come to inaugurations in the past 100 years. Finished. None. It doesn't happen. Now, do other like dignitaries show up, ambassadors and such? Sure. But actual leaders don't show up to presidential inauguration. It's kind of not a thing that we do. The former presidents show up, American presidents, and maybe a former dignitary from a former person, maybe, but not a current one. They don't really do that. It's not a thing. But here's the worst part. Let's say you say, well, Larry, you're wrong here. China is one of our biggest adversaries. China is one of our biggest competitors. This relationship is critical. You have to come. You have to have them show up, blah, blah, blah. Okay, maybe I could buy that, maybe. But if I did, what about the rest of our trading partners? But the rest of our enemies? How many do we offer to come? Do we go, well, the Brits are our longtime friends. They come, or do they get snubbed? And if they come, do the Germans get snubbed? And is Putin because Putin's right now fighting a proxy war against us in Syria and Ukraine. Do we bring him? He's on the ground fighting us. Do we bring him now? If not, does he get pissed off? I'm not sure. While again, I'm going to be very clear. I'm not someone who says, don't talk, push him away. You know this. I've been very open to this. No matter what, even when you're fighting a war, always keep lines of communication open, no matter what. But this idea of having Xi come, I think, is a bad idea. I think it's a bad idea because it is not because I shouldn't be talking or caring, but because this is literally pomp and circumstance, right? That's what the inauguration is. It's pomp and circumstance. It's what it is. And now you're going to have this guy show. What about the rest of them? Who else is pissed off? And is this now going to be a thing? Because now what happens if the next time someone doesn't bring them or does or whatever? Is someone else now pissed off? Is someone else now unhappy? Did we piss off the next guy? If we're worried about people we're trying to get on board, invite Putin too. Maybe he'll come and like Trump and get drunk and say, all right, I'll leave Ukraine. I mean, maybe, I don't know. What is that what we're doing? Clearly, it's silly. At the same time, I do think having a good relationship with Xi is a good thing. I really do. And if he can hang out with him or go have dinner with him or whatever, send him to Mar-a-Lago, whatever. Yep, I'm in. 100%. Have him in if you want to do that, but not at the inauguration. It is pomp. Did I say pump? Pomp. I'm sorry. Pomp and circumstance. I did say pomp, didn't I? Anyway, it's pomp and circumstance, not pump. And that's what it is. He should not be there. That's not a thing. Have dinner at Mar-a-Lago next month or whatever you want to do, however Trump wants to woo him. I hope Trump is able to woo him and get him to be good. I hope he is, right? Maybe he does. I don't know. But that's a good thing. I will go one step further. I think Trump should, on top of it, open up clear and open dialogue with the Afghani leadership and even the new Syrian leadership. And some of you are like, what? The Syrian leadership is crazy. These people are nuts. Okay, I'm not necessarily saying you're wrong, but I'll go back to what I brought up earlier. In 1783, by the time we had our actual peace treaty, I think it was 83. 1783, we have our actual peace treaty. A bunch of rebels beat the British Empire. We were basically terrorists at the time, right? For the time. And the world talked to us. Why? We won the war, and that's how it worked. You can be upset at the Taliban if you want to be. I get it. But they won the war, and it's their country, and they run it, whether we like it or not. They run it. We should be talking to them openly. Like, we should stop sanctioning them and punishing them. They won the war. They beat us. 20 years, $1 trillion, and they won. It's their country. You know what? Let's accept it and talk to him. Stop the sanctioning, stop the freezing of assets, talk to him. The guy in Syria, assuming that he stays. Now, he may not stay. To be forward, I remember a certain strong man from a country called Haiti, Aristide, many years ago. He got booted out of his country, and then we put him back in. Is it possible that Assad gets put back in? Yes, that is still possible. The war is not over yet. At the moment, HTS is winning. That's true. At the moment, they're in charge. That's true. You might go, that guy, Shara, I forgot how you pronounce his name. But that guy, he is literally on our list as a top terrorist. He's got I think it's a $10 million bounty on his head. Yeah, this guy's okay though. He is, or was. I mean, maybe officially he's not now, whatever. But he was. But is he now? I don't know, whatever. But is he going to be like the rest? And I told you guys this, was it last week when I brought this up? I told you he's not going to act the way that people think he is. He's not. And he's already not doing it. He's already allowing for amnesty. He is already letting people just who surrender go back to their homes. Why? Because he's a great guy? No, not because he's a great guy. No, that's not the reason. Because he saw what happened. I told you all what happened in ISIS. When ISIS was playing the ISIS game, and ISIS figured something out. There's a big difference in winning a war and governing a country. Big difference. ISIS didn't know that. They're like, well, no, we can just be the same crazy people all the time. Oh, no, you can't. Not how that works. No. Big difference. Big difference. This guy figured that out. So I don't know if I'm not saying he's a good guy. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's savvy enough to know that if he plays that game and people see his ISIS, everyone will be against him and he's gone. He's figured this out. And I'm telling you, he may still be that same bad guy. I don't know if he is, but he probably is. I mean, probably. But he will slowly move. He is not going to be aggressive up front at all. He wants to keep his power. He wants to keep serious. So he might actually win this thing. He might actually wind up being a leader in the long run. It could happen. If he screws up, Assad's coming back. Because at least we knew who that guy was. So he's coming back. We just install him because we're Americans. We just install him. Otherwise, he might actually win. So should America then remove the bounty off this guy's head? And should America talk to him and his government like the Syrian government? Yes. But Larry, he's a bad guy. So is Taliban. They're really bad guys. A lot of them, really bad guys. They won the war. It's their country. That's how it works, right? And if we don't, you know who will? Xi Jinping or Putin or someone else, because they won't care. They go, you're a bad guy? Whatever. Can we like have your resources or can we build stuff? Yeah, we don't care if you're a bad guy. They won't. They won't care. We shouldn't either. So what's the difference? Why should Xi Jinping not come? But I'm telling you, talk to the guy in Syria, talk to the person in Afghanistan, be buddies with Xi Jinping or Putin or whatever, have them over to Mar-a-Lago. Why am I saying that? Because one is pomp and circumstance, and the other is realpolitik. Pomp and circumstance is nice, but it's not affecting people's lives. But it's nice. People like it. I know people love it. People love ceremonies. So Cubans love ceremonies. I'm with it. I like ceremonies too. We all do. We like things like that. It's great. We love it, right? Fireworks, whatever. Oh, good stuff. Not affecting people's lives. Realpolitik is. And that's my difference in those two. I think there is a difference. Talk to everybody, but I don't at all. I don't at all think Xi should come to the inauguration. I hope he turns it down. Word is he's already said no, but that could change, whatever. I hope he doesn't come. And I wish Trump didn't even invite him because that opened it up to others. I think Trump made a mistake inviting him. I think it was a bad idea. I think he should not have even invited him. It's not a thing. It should not be a thing, right? It just not be a thing. Next to that, if I could, I'm going to bring on top of that, Trump was selected Time Person of the Year. People aren't that upset about it. I'm actually glad they're not that upset about it. I mean, some people are, but a lot of them aren't that upset about it. And neither am I. Again, that's pomp and circumstance, which I'm fine with. That's not realpolitik. Time wants to sell magazines. Time thinks it's great. I'm not mad. That's pomp and circumstance. That's not something to be mad about, right? Fine, whatever. It's good. Any case, so I'm going to grab a couple comments if I could. Sarah says, wow, I hadn't heard this. I wonder if Putin and Kim Jong-un can attend. Khomeini, Maduro, the Democrats would experience the most righteous day of their lives. But if this means peace, then. This is a valid point. Look, Sarah, if I honestly believed, I don't though, but if I honestly believed that if Xi Jinping came to inauguration, he'd all of a sudden shake hands and we'd all of a sudden be buddies and everything would be fine between us and China, I probably would say I changed my mind, do it. But I don't see that at all. This is just something to do. But yeah, I get your point. And again, it goes to my earlier point. How are we going to have Kim Jong-un be better? How are we going to have Khomeini be better? Maduro, we got to talk to him. We have to talk to him. But there's something else that happens, particularly in the case of places like Iran, particularly in those places like that. The enemies that we have in those nations use our negativity. They use our bad jingoistic actions as validation for them to punish their own people. If you remember, I spoke with this last week. I was talking about Syria. Was that this week? I forgot. Somebody show I forgot. Whenever my Syria show, whenever that was. I was talking about the idea that clearly Israel has won, Turkey has won, America and Russia at the moment have lost, but they have to get a win. Like Russia has to work to get a win out of this somehow. America, Trump has to get a win out of this somehow, but that Iran doesn't have to have a win. It's actually okay if Iran just takes a loss. Why? That fuels their ability to control their people. It fuels it. It puts their people in permanent victim status. It fuels their own control. We've got to talk to places like that so that the people go, wait a minute. They told us that America just hates us, that America's just trying to crush us. That's it. But they're talking to us? Wait a minute, what's going on? And I go, do they see that? Yes, they have internet too. Yes, they have VPNs too, right? They have, when this begins to come out, when they see that we're not just trying to hammer them, this actually makes it harder for a place like Iran. Now, that's not true in every one of these countries, but in Iran, that's true. Iran does not have to get a victory. Iran can lose again. And they're like, okay, we lost, great. See, people, it's because evil Israel. It's because evil America. That's why keep us in charge and we'll protect you from the evil guys. And they're actually using that. So yeah, that makes sense. You guys, when we talk about drones, two or three people talk about the drones. All right, let me bring up the drones. I know it's kind of out of it, and I don't usually do that, but like 3 people asked about it. Okay, the drones over Jersey. We don't know anything yet. It could be knuckleheads just doing dumb stuff. Who knows? We don't know yet. I'm not doing. I was thinking about doing a show, but what am I going to say? We don't. It could be knuckleheads doing it. It could be anything. That one congressperson said, if you remember what he said there's a Iranian mothership off the coast, East Coast, and it's flying drones. No, that's not true. That is utterly garbage. That is one. I will bet you $100 that's not even close to true. That's not a thing. There is no way that some Iranian ship got out of the Red Sea. We didn't detect it at all. Came all the way here, and then is off the coast and is flying drones off, and we haven't somehow found it. Not a thing. Like impossible. No way. If that was a thing, we would know about it directly and clearly, and probably would have put it at the bottom of the ocean. It wouldn't even have got here. We went to the bottom of the Red Sea. We probably couldn't even. It probably wouldn't have got out to the Indian Ocean. I mean, maybe if like the entire, and I mean the entire Iranian Navy flushed out at the same time in a desperate attempt to get this one ship out, maybe the one ship gets out and then we sink it. I mean, maybe. I mean, that's about it. So no, it's not that. I think it's people doing stuff, whatever it is. We're going to find out. We're going to find out what this is in like a week, whatever, 2 weeks, whatever it is. We'll find out. We'll figure it out. I'm not that concerned. That's why I didn't really bring it up, but thank you for bringing it up. But like 3 people brought it up. So yes. Anyway, let me keep going. That Liberty Lady says, Sharpies, do me a solid hit on the like button on the way in. And don't forget to share the stream with your friends. Make sure you subscribe, follow, hit the bell so you know when Lara Sharpe is live. She is correct. But not just that. Remember, click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. That is correct. Like. Yes, that's the one. Please share it if you could. That'd be awesome. Please subscribe. Now, I did the Lima India Kilo Echo because Mike Voss is also watching, and he's an ex-communications guy in the Marine Corps, and I just gave him PTSD again. He's like, flashbacks. Yes, correct. I did. Yes. So please do that if you want to. Also, of course, super chats, go right to the front if you would. Membership is always important if you can on YouTube, either Sharpe Way or Larry Sharpe. I'll be picking the people for next Monday's show, probably sometime tonight. Latest tomorrow, probably tonight. If you care and you're a member, please let me know. Go to the communities tab on either YouTube page and let me know if you want to be on. There's a picture right there requesting if you want to come on. Please let me know. It does matter. I appreciate it. So, yes. All righty. Joel over on Rumble says, where does one purchase a drone mothership? Are they talking like this is a thing in reality and just the Marvel universe? No. They say it, the congressman, he's from Jersey. I forgot the name of the guy, but it's a Jersey congressman. He literally said this on TV. It's on video. That's literally what happened. He actually said that. I'm not making this up. He said it. It's not true. There's no mothership. That's not a thing. Just saying. See, Pete asked about it too. Yes. Yeah. They'll figure it out. In a week, we'll know. That's what I'm telling you. In a week, we will know. IC says, how many will boycott if she attends? I say it's a big, you're right. It is controversial. I wish he hadn't even invited him. Yes, I agree. Christine says, I heard Xi turned it down an invitation. I heard that too. Again, the damage is done. Why? I'm talking about it. Damage is done, right? Yes, that's the issue. So, any case. Pickerbell says, wait, I thought it was Biden who goes with China. Sarcasm based on conversation with my super Republican parents. Yeah. Look, there's a thing that's unfair but fair. And what I mean by that? Sometimes there is a only Nixon can go to China thing, if that makes any sense, right? The guy who is clearly not pro the thing can go do the thing, right? So there is some of that sometimes. Trump is very mercurial. He swaps and changes and shifts very easily. And that's often a bad thing. But there are times when that's a good thing. I've talked about this before. If you just bend the knee to him and keep the knee bent, there's the key, Pickerbell, keep the knee bent, he tends to forgive you. Like, you okay, you were mean to me, but now you accept that I am the God King, and you'll just accept me as God King, then fine, we're friends again. Just accept me as God King. The second you get out of the line, no, I'm mad at you again. But just keep accepting me as God King, you're good. And that can be an advantage. That's all I'm saying. That can be an advantage. So he can go back, right, and do that. So yes. P says, aliens are real, Larry. Arriving for inauguration. Peace Lodge, thank you for $2. Look, if aliens are real, I'm not saying they are or aren't. I'm not. So far, I don't think so. But I hope they come. Inauguration. But here's a problem. And I'm going to tell you guys something that you may not like. To be very forward. Some real talk about aliens. If aliens are real, if it's true, if they really exist, and they come from some other planet, if that is true, we are really in trouble. I mean, we're really in trouble. I'm not joking when I say that. We are in serious trouble. Why, Larry? Why are we in trouble? All right. The closest possible planet to us is about 4 light years away. That's the closest possible. Assuming they're at the closest possible planet, that could be, there probably isn't, but assuming that, it's 4 billion light years away. Assuming they can travel at the speed of light, which according to Einstein's the fastest you could possibly travel. You can't travel faster than that, according to Einstein, or you go back in time. So assuming that's true, it takes 4 years to get here, at least. So you're now talking about a species that, one, has the ability to scan the universe to find us in some way, shape, or form, or the ability to travel so much it can randomly pop upon us in some way, shape, or form, can travel maybe the speed of light, which we cannot come even close to, or if not that, has a lifespan that doesn't care about a 4-year travel or a 20-year travel or a 30-year travel. So their lifespan is so long, hey, I'm just going to go to Earth. How long is it going to take? 40 years? We don't care. Not another option. Or they have some form of way where they can like put themselves into cement animation for some issue. They have this type of technology. If they have this type of technology and then come to our planet, it will be no different than us going to a planet and finding insects on the planet. People think it'll be like the Europeans finding the Native Americans. No. That was a fairly close, believe it or not, technology issue. That was fairly close. I mean, it was a little bit, not great, but fairly close. This would be millennia difference. This would be like us walking in the jungle and finding chimps. That's what it would be like. Us against chimps or apes, then versus us. They would take whatever they want to take, do whatever they want to do. We would have no power over them whatsoever. We would have no power over them whatsoever. So if it is true, peace, if the aliens are coming, I hope they like us, because if they don't, they will just take what they want and we will have no power over them whatsoever. We will be insects to them. That is why I hope there are no aliens, because we are going to have no power at all. So yes. All righty. Anyway, Joel, thank you for the $1 over on Rumble. I'm watching Larry Sharpe Show on YouTube and Rumble side by side on 2 monitors. Rumble feed has better sound and better video quality. Oh, look at that. Okay, look at that. Rumble has better both. I love that. I actually have 3 monitors. So I keep one when I bring it in here, and I keep Rumble on another. So I try to check both monitors whenever I possibly can. It's very challenging, but yes, I agree. Yes. The AC says Pomp. Yes, I said Pomp, didn't I? I meant Pomp. I did say Pomp. After I heard myself later, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that's not Pomp, it's Pomp. So yes, Pomp. Thank you for that. Yes. Yeah. He then goes on to say, cough and circumstance sure is an odd turn phrase. Yeah, that's kind of odd. All right, so I made a mistake. AC, you got to rub in my face for the next 5 years. And I'm kidding, it's fine. It's all good. So yes. All right. Thomas says a post-inauguration meeting of leaders would be acceptable, but inauguration attendance is necessary. I agree. I'm with you, Tom. 100%. I am with you. Yes. P says they live inside our hollow moon. There have been movies about the people on the moon. Remember, there was that one, one cult classic movie? I forgot the name of it now, where the Nazis left Germany after World War II and went to put a base on the moon. And they've been building up the base to come back to Earth and take over. There was that movie. I forgot the name of that movie. They were on the base, and then like the moon people found them by mistake. And then the Nazis got invade early because the people found them. Remember that? That's cult classic movie, like a couple years back, whatever it was. So yes, there has been that. But the other thing, though, is there's been lots of stories about another form of humans that live underneath the earth, or humanoids. Yes. The sea devils or the Silurians. Yes, absolutely. So it could be them. You never know. At least then, if that's true, I mean, I don't know if I'm just saying, I'm just talking trash now. But if that is true, at least, again, that will be close. That will be more like Europeans coming to find Native Americans. That will be more like that. At least we're not insects then. We could probably beat them off. There's like 8 billion of us. It's probably maybe a couple 100,000 theirs. So yes. Fahim, thank you for the 99, my friend. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much, my brother. I do appreciate every bit. Thank you so much for the support there. All right, let me grab a couple of these so I can keep going down this road. All right. Andrew says, hard to believe it. Malay. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. But she? Yeah. Andrew, I think a chat with all of them is the right answer. That's what I think, but not there. IC says, wasn't most presidents man of the year? No. We've had, 47 presidents, and I think like about a dozen have been man of the year, which is still a lot, but about a dozen. So not most, about 1 in 4, I think, have been man of the year. So a lot become man of the year. That's true. A lot do, but not all of them. Yep, not all of them. Yep. All righty. Let's see if I can go down here. Pickabus says, why did he invite him in the first place? I missed that part. I'm unsure. Sarah says, Trump say something regrettable? Yeah. I can just picture Trump like a kid bully still wanting to play someone in a play date. But look, I get it. But someone should have told him, dude, no, this is a bad idea. What are you doing? No. Yes. Yeah, of course. Yes. The AC says they don't even have a blue water navy. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's not happening. The Iranians do not have a mothership. That's not a thing. AC, you are correct. That's not a thing. Yes. Andrea says, if there was an Iranian ship off the coast, where is it? You think there'd be some pictures or details about it? Correct, Andrea. That's what I'm saying. That's the funny thing is, this shows how absolutely crazy, not great, wrong word, ignorant, unsophisticated many of our leaders are. For you to say something that loud because someone told you that, are you kidding me? Really? Somehow you think that that's true? Did you not just think it through? Do you have any sense of history? None. You're right. There's no way. Yes. Yeah. Christine says, Washington is saying they have no info on the drones, but they do know there's nothing to worry about. So know something or not. What they're saying is, this is what they mean by that, Christine. It's a valid question. What they mean by that is they're not seeing any need to panic, meaning these drones don't like have guns on them or something, or they're not abducting people or something like that isn't happening. That's the issue, right? That's what they're trying to say. They're saying there's no reason to be upset or concerned because there's no obvious fear. That's what they mean by that. So Mr. Taz says that Luigi kid's presumption that the threat of violence will make shady healthcare CEOs behave wasn't entirely far-fetched. Well, that's way off topic. But maybe. I think it might make the companies be more scared and hide stuff, but it doesn't mean that they'll get all of a sudden become better. I'm not sure that's true. I mean, maybe. Yeah, I don't think so. Kim says, I've seen it called UFO drones. Well, they are unidentified, and they are flying, and they are objects. They are UFOs. It's true. Yes, absolutely. So Pete says, thank you for your thoughts on the drones. I thought you would have more insight living closer. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. No, my insight is I am closer, right? I mean, Jersey is across the river from me. So yes, I am closer. It is very close to me. And here's what I know. The New York City area, this port area is a massive port. The amount of shipping that comes in and out of Brooklyn is insane. Tons of it. If there was some ship outside of Jersey, which would be outside, if you see how the map works, right? New York, and underneath it, that land underneath it is Jersey. That would be a ship, would be like right here. Yeah, no. That ship, if there's an Iranian ship there, it'll be there for give or take 15 minutes before it goes to the bottom of the ocean. Maybe 15 minutes. And I'm giving them 15 minutes because they might like warn them and say, get off the ship so we can capture the crew because that ship's going to the bottom of the ocean. So they might get 15 minutes if there was one there, and there isn't, but if there was one there, 15 minutes to abandon your ship because it's going to the bottom of the ocean. And if you get off the ship, good for you. If you don't, I guess you're going down the ship. That ship is not lasting more than 15 minutes. And again, only just for courtesy of allowing us to take you prisoner. If you're prepared to be prisoners, we're good. Yes. Picabo says Mars attacks the documentary. That's cute. It's very good. There we go. All righty. IC says aliens are real demons. I have heard that piece before too. I have heard that before, right? I've heard that concept before. So yeah. All righty. Pete says, how we handle alien immigration. They would go where they want, how they want. They wouldn't care what we thought, and they would just push us to the side because they would have so much technology over us. It wouldn't matter they would ignore our laws, ignore our rules. They would do whatever they want. That would be it. Picklebell says anything advanced enough to get here would crush us like bugs. You are correct, Picklebell. Yes. It would not matter. If they were actual, it would not matter. They would do whatever they chose to do. And we would go, okay. Now, to be forward, I don't think like the image of aliens in movies is they come to conquer and destroy. No, that's not what they would do. Why would they? They would come to take whatever thing they want. Do they want a resource? Do they want water? Do they want oil? I don't know. Whatever aliens want. I don't know. Do aliens want gold? I don't know. Whatever aliens want, whatever value they see, they would come and take it and just take it and walk away. The same way we go into a jungle or wherever and we mine the gold or we mine the ore. If we happen to destroy some of the wildlife there, okay. If we don't, okay. We don't purposely wipe out the wildlife. We take what we want If the wildlife dies, it dies, whatever. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it adapts to it, they don't care. They take the stuff and go. They would do that. They would come and take whatever they would find as valuable. I don't know what aliens think are valuable. If they find nothing valuable here, they wouldn't bother coming here. Like, we don't go to places that we don't see value. We don't go into the Arctic to go drill if there's nothing there. I mean, if we think there's something there, we'll get it. If not, we just leave it alone. They would do exactly the same thing. If they find no value in our planet, they'll just fly by it. Whatever, another planet. They don't care. But if there's something they want, they will just come and take it. And if we don't get in the way, we'll be fine. If we get in the way, they will crush us as we would crush anything else. They will not care. They wouldn't see us as equals. They wouldn't see us as powerful. They would see us as animals in the way. That's why I would be concerned. I would hope I don't live in a place that they find valuable. That's what I would hope. Or I'm moving. That's it. Hopefully there's no value in New York City. I mean, it's almost on now. Anyway, the point being, I think I'll be fine. So, yes. All righty. The AC says, I don't know what we would have that they want. There we go. Everything is plentiful here. Is even more plentiful in other places in the universe. That's exactly my point. I don't know why they would. I mean, I don't know. Could it be possible that they would just be like on a science expedition, like some scientists would come by and just kind of like observe us like chimps or something? Maybe, right? Maybe that. I don't know. Who knows? So Dave says, I've seen Disserve Man in the Twilight Zone. Yeah. I don't think we're going to be food. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be food. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. Well, while that was a great Twilight Zone, I love that Twilight Zone. I don't think we're going to be food. I think we're far more going to be like, I mean, if they would just like, if you're at that point, you would like get like, I don't know, 50 of us or whatever is the amount that you need, take us to whatever place they think is appropriate and just breed us because we're just like cattle. They just turn us into cattle. That's all. They would turn us to cattle. And they'd probably lobotomize us because if you don't lobotomize us, we might escape. So they would just lobotomize us and just turn us into cattle. And it wouldn't be all of us because they just breed us like we'd be animals to them, man. That's something. We'd just be animals. That's it. Yes. That's all. Anyway. Yeah. Andrea says maybe they want to eat the bugs. You're right. Maybe that's what the WEF was talking about. They thought we started eating bugs like the aliens. Maybe. Yes. Dave goes on to say, Larry, there are mole people living in abandoned subway tunnels in New York City, or so I hear. To be forward about that, there are people who live in the subway tunnels of New York City, but they're not mole people. They're just homeless people. It's true. There are people who live there. That is a thing. So there are no, if there were mole people, they'd be killing the homeless people. So there aren't any. So yes. All righty. Pickabro says, who does Trump listen to realistically? Like, who would have been able to dissuade him? At the moment, from what I see, and I don't have a lot of insight. I have some insight. I know some people who know a little bit. So this is really second, third hand. So take this. Again, when I know, I tell you I know. This is like third hand. I do know some people who know people. So it's third hand. From what I understand, Trump is really heavily put his trust into his family, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. So people like Don Jr., Eric Trump, not as much Ivanka as he had in the past. Ivanka was one of his confidants, but she still is, but not the same level that she was. She's kind of walked away a bit. She's kind of moved into her family mode. She's kind of shifted out, but he's putting a lot into his family. He really has. That's been a big thing for him. So family's been people who he's been talking to. So I think any of his kids probably could have moved him, if anybody could have. So yes, that's what I think. So AC goes on to say, it's not about who he listens to realistically, but about who listens. He listens consistently, and that's no one. At the moment, again, consistently, AC is, relative. Currently, it's his family that I hear. Again, I could be off on that. I'm telling you, this is third hand. So take it for whatever you want. So yeah, take whatever you want. Thomas says, the idea of mothership off the coast launching drones isn't that far-fetched, but it would be more likely to be Chinese or Russian rather than Iranian. Is it possible that could be done? Yes, Thomas, you are correct. Not Iranian. Is it possible that there is a Russian sub? Maybe that is a thing that that's possible, right? So I think it could, something like that, maybe. I'm not saying that's true at all, but if you told me that I could at least go, okay, maybe. I mean, the Russians have massive drone armies now from Ukraine. The Russians have a very powerful submarine force. Maybe, could be, that's possible. Not Iranians. And the Chinese submarine force is still, I mean, nowhere near as good as the Russians or the Americans. Nowhere near as big. I mean, maybe Chinese, but I think you're stretching with Chinese too. You're not stretching with Russians. That's a thing that could exist. That would be possible. I do not think it's that, but it could be that. That's something I could believe at least. So yes. John says, Larry, maybe Trump has a side bet with the China guy on him winning the election, and this is Trump's way of rubbing his nose the fact that he won. You know, now if that were true, John, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. If literally he's like, all right, you know, if you win, you got to take me to the inauguration or something like that, right? I mean, that's not bad. That would be. Then he should say that. Then he should say that. I think people would love that if it were true. You know, I bet she that I'd win. She said, no way. I said, if I win, you got to come to my inauguration. He went, all right, I'll come. Like that would be an amazing thing if that was it. John, I love the idea. I wish it was true. I hope it is. Yes. So Pete says, nobody F's with the U.S.'s boats. Don't touch the boats. You are correct. That is an accurate statement. You are correct, Pete. Yes, absolutely. Pete says we might be their petting zoo. Well, at least we'll get treated nicely, Pete. Something, right? Get something at least. There we go. Yeah. So I like that idea. The AC says Luigi hats like the one Luigi wears in Super Mario Brothers are apparently sold out online, as is the green trucker jacket that he was wearing. This piece, I know it's off topic, and we're going off topic tonight, but that's okay. This piece I want to bring up. I know people laugh and joke about this, but it shows where our country is. This links up, believe it or not, with Trump. It does. There are so many people who are still so shocked that Trump won. Trump winning and people supporting Luigi are related. They are America saying, I don't care about the establishment at all. I don't care if it breaks. I don't care if it falls apart. I will accept everything being torn apart because it's not working. And the example I give right now is many of you do not like Milei. I get Milei hate all the time. But here's the one thing I'll say about Milei in Argentina. He is having successes and failures. And with his failures that are hurting his people, that's an accurate statement. There are some people in Argentina who are being hurt right now by what he's doing. That's true. I know you guys who love Milei get mad when I say that, but that part is true. They still support him. Even the people being, that's a fact. I'm not making that up. You can see it in the streets. You can see it in Poland. You can see it on TV. You can see it. They still support him because they know that the system was utterly broken and was not working and had been screwing them for decades. And they're like, if this is what it takes, fine. Yes, I don't care what it takes. If this is what it takes, okay. And these are people in Argentina who are physically struggling, losing jobs, and they're like, we support them. I know I'm having trouble eating this week. I gotta go live. I gotta move in with my sister. Okay. Yes, I'm moving with my sister. Fine. It's better than it was. And to be forward, it is better than it was for most Argentinians. Not all. Some are still being screwed over. It's true. But he said it. He's like, it's going to get worse first. He said it. He told them. And they were like, I might. He got rid of a bunch of the rules and regulations on rent control. All of a sudden, people can rent houses now. Yes, rents went down. He ended rent control and rents went down. Yes, I'm just saying, absolutely 100%. This is related. People like we support Luigi because we're glad that the system is breaking, even if people are dying. And people go, but Trump said this. And people are like, I just don't care. That's it. Brian, how are you, sir? It's been a while. Glad you're back to say hi. Glad you want to make another try at running for governor. I am considering. I'm considering making a third run in 2026. I'm not 100% sure, but I am absolutely considering it. Yes. I do think we may have a shot at making something happen. So yes. Alrighty. AC says, actually, oil might be a thing. Aside from that, everything else can be had in much more abundance on asteroids. It's a good point, Ref. For those of you who don't know, oil actually doesn't come from like minerals. It comes from organic material. So you're right. Oil may be something because it does come from organic material. If you don't have organic material on your planet, you don't have oil. So maybe our planet is one of the rare ones that has organic material, and maybe oil has value to aliens. I don't know if it does, but if it does, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty. Andrea says, with so many airports in the area, could Boeing be testing something? It's true. There's a lot of airports in this area. You're right. There's a lot. There's 3 major airports in this area, and at least 7 minor, maybe more. 1 minor on Long Island, 2 minor on Long Island, 1 minor in Westchester, 3 minor in New Jersey, 4 maybe. So 5 to 7 minor airports plus 3 big ones. Newark, LaGuardia, and JFK are all right in this area. So they're major. And at least 5 minor, maybe even more. So it could be. Yes. So, all righty. Peace says, I've derailed the Larry show. Aliens are coming. It's your fault, Peace. It's your fault. Absolutely. Yes, it's your fault. There we go. All righty. Oh, Mike says, oh yeah. Okay, it was on the dog. So Iron Sky is a cult. You know what? Not a classic. You're right. It's a cult movie. You're right. I stand corrected, Mike. Iron Sky is the name of that movie. That didn't they make an Iron Sky 2 or some other movie that was like it or something? I barely watched the first one. Like I just went through it because people talked about it. So I was like, let me see. Oh, okay, it's this thing. I got it. And for those who know, Iron Sky was a movie where in the movie after World War II, the Nazis go to the moon and make a moon base and like preparing to like reinvade the Earth or something. I don't remember the details. I saw the movie a long time ago, whatever it was. And like we find them by mistake and there's a battle and something. I forgot. Yes, absolutely. All right. Sarah says, Larry, if you were president, what would you do to change voice for China? This is a hard one. To be full with you, Sarah, it's a hard one because how do you change so many years of distrust on both sides, right? You don't want to be the one that just drops your guard when the other person doesn't, right? You don't want to just do that. But I think you start by slowly dropping your guard and saying, I'll do X if you do Y. Okay, we did that. Okay, good. Now I'll do another little if you do a little. I think you have to do this, right? I know many libertarians just go, drop it. Who cares? Get rid of it. I understand that theory completely, but that's a massive gamble. If you just drop yours, I mean, maybe they drop theirs too, and maybe they don't, right? So it's a gamble, and I get the argument. The theoretical argument is just drop everything, open free trade over the long haul. Things will be better. I do get that, and is it possible it would work? Maybe, but the problem is it's a massive gamble, and if you lose that gamble, you could crush American economy. And who's to say they go, oh, great, a chance to crush American economy. Let's do it. So that's the worry I would have. But I would start lowering trade barriers a little bit at a time, hoping they go, trying to get them to move. And I would do it just with China, the whole world. I would slowly start moving things down every single way possible. I think that's the answer. I would start removing all the tariffs on Iran, all of them on North Korea, all of them on Cuba. But again, slowly. But Larry, then the Iranians will get the bomb. I don't care. North Korea has the bomb already. So what do I care? I don't care. Don't care. They're not going to nuke us. We're good. They're not going to nuke us. We're good. And the Israelis already have the bomb. I don't care. That's people wanting more power. I don't care. I don't care at all. Let them fight them. They can do it. I don't want to do that at all. So I think you slowly just start lowering, hoping they do it too. And over the course of years, because to fix a relationship like that, it doesn't take 5 minutes. It takes years. And you hope the next president behind you also, if you get 8 years, you do it slowly over 8 years. You hope you see it come down. You hope we become more integrated. If it does happen, look, to be forward, this takes two sides. If the Chinese don't want it, it's not going to work. And that's the glory. If you start bringing yours down and they don't, everybody sees it's them, not you. It's obvious. It's them, not you. But if they go, okay, and then you go, and then they go, and you go, all right, before you know it, it might take 10 years, and I'm okay with that. Again, I'll say it. Vietnam, it took us 20 years. We bombed their country for 10 years. It took 20 before we were like, all right, we're good. It took 20 years. It might take 20 years for China. It might take 20 years for Russia. I don't know. Could take 20 for Iran. Could take 20 for Cuba. But the sooner we start, the sooner it will be done. Whether it takes 5 years or 20 years, I don't know. But the longer we do this, the longer it will take. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. We're not all of a sudden friends with countries who've been bombing for 20 years. It takes time. It doesn't work. So I think that's why. So, all righty. Michael says, aliens come here for the craft beer and Waffle House. I mean, it's delicious. So they're not wrong. Michael, they're not wrong. I mean, if these are aliens, they got some pretty good taste. So they're not wrong. Oh, good. Mike says, she was likely invited as a display of power. Eastern politics is not like Western. It will be admission of U.S. dominance. But yes, bad for integration. Yeah, maybe that's why. But even if it is, it's not the right answer. You know, that's the issue. It's not the right answer. Yeah. So, all right. Dave says, I think The Simpsons had Kodos and Kane lobotomize the town of Springfield when they took over one episode. There we go. See, I knew The Simpsons. There we go. Christine says, I think he listens to Elon and Barron. He listens to Barron. I think that's true. I don't know if he listens to Elon. He seems to like Elon. I'm not sure he listens. So, all right. Mike says, the congressman is Jeff Van Drew. Yeah, that's the guy. Thank you for that. Also more likely Iranian drones used by another country or group. Russians unlikely as no need. Yeah, I don't think it will be. Russians don't require drones. They make a bazillion of them. So they wouldn't require one from Iran. I mean, they could get them if they wanted to. Let me take that back. They could get Iranian drones because they use so many of them in the current war in Ukraine. They want to purchase some from Iran. Possible. That could happen. So, Mike, to your point, if someone was to tell me that it was a Russian sub using drones they bought from Iran, okay, that's plausible. I could buy that, maybe. I don't know why. I don't think that's true, but that at least is plausible. But some Iranian ship, that's not a thing. Could it be a Russian sub with drones that are Iranian that the Russians bought from Iran because they didn't want to use their Russian drones because they're being using it in Ukraine? All right. I mean, doable, but I don't think it's true. But that at least, I agree with your point, Mike. It could be. That is plausible. There we go. I don't think it's realistic, but it's plausible. That's what I would say. Okay, there we go. Yes. All right. Christine says, the concern about the drones that China and Russia are years ahead of us in drone technology. These drones are big enough to carry a large payload. I think that's a valid worry, but not just in that. In case you guys didn't know, one of the reasons, and there are many, but one of the reasons why Syria fell so quickly was also because of drones. The Ukrainians, there was talk of the Ukrainians, if you remember, if some of you who pay attention to war, for those of you paying attention to the war in Ukraine, there was a talk of a Ukrainian assault. The Ukrainians were going to make this assault against the Russians, and they've been hiding, and it's going to be some massive assault. Well, that assault hasn't happened in Ukraine. It did happen in Syria. And part of the Syrian attacks, or the HTS attacks, they were supported, as I mentioned before, CAD, or close air support, used to be done heavily by aircraft. At one point, it was done by fighter aircraft, and then it became more supported by choppers, helicopters, helos, attack helicopters. Now it's really done by drones, right? Drones tend to actually do close air support for infantry now. That happened during the Ukrainian war. Well, there's thousands of Ukrainian drone pilots, and about 100 or so were in Ukraine. We're in Syria, assisting in the attacks. Yes, as I warned you guys, A month ago, I told you one of the reasons why the Israelis were fighting so early and so fast and so hard was they recognized that at one point, all these hundreds of thousands of drones and their operators are going to put themselves into the Middle East. And if that happens, imagine that. Imagine if the drones had been there. Imagine if the Israelis had not crushed Hezbollah. They had not done that. And now you got fanatic military with leadership, which again, we're assuming for a moment Israel did not destroy the leadership. And now with, I don't know, 10,000 drones and 100 experienced drone pilots to support them. Whole different war. Whole different war. There's a reason, and I told you the Israelis wanted a buffer zone. They had to attack now before that hit. And what hit? It wasn't the Russians, it was the Ukrainians. That was their hit against the Russians. It was their support. They supported a hit against the Russians. And it's worked. And again, I told you something else. The Russians had to, when the Israelis were bombing parts of Lebanon, the Russians pulled themselves out. When they were bombing, the Russians pulled some of their forces out of the bases on the coast of Syria. But if you've been paying attention, some of you have, I'm sure, some of you haven't been. They're negotiating right now over there with Turkey to keep the bases. They're negotiating with the new government, that al-Sharia guy. The Russians are negotiating with him, saying, we're going to keep our bases. He's like, yes, you give me bases. Yes, he's agreed to allow the Russians to keep their bases on the coast of the Mediterranean. And I told you, the Russians will never give those up without a fight. You want peace, the Russians keep their bases. The idea of a warm water port is, I'm not joking, centuries old in Russian foreign policy. Centuries. Like they've been talking about this like since the 1700s, 1800s. They want to get and keep a warm water port. They've been talking about this for centuries. And they have one in the Med. They're not giving it up without a serious fight. Like they're invading. Like it's a serious fight. And these guys know it. They're like, you win. Let us have the country. You keep your bases. So that's already happening. So it's a long way of saying, yes, Christine, you're correct. There is a worry about that. But to be forward, drone technology, not hard to catch up. Skilled drone pilots, that could take some time, right? That's not a simple thing. You can do it. That takes more time, right? To just train them to do it, right? It just takes more time. And to understand things, it just takes more time. Ukrainians and Russians have been doing it for years now. So they have a lot of very, very talented, pilots. So yes. All righty. All right, keep going down here. Jared says, thank you for being a member, Jared. Private military cooperation for the UFO drones. Those claiming Iran, especially the media and government, just want to stoke war with Iran. That's possible. I'd buy that too. That's possible. Sure. Right? That's possible. Do you have a narrative that you want war with Iran, and then you use this as a narrative, right? Sure. Look, America's done it before. What? At the Gulf of Tonkin? Lie. Remember the Maine? Lie. Right? So WMDs? Lie. So yeah, I mean, this could be that. Possible. Possible. Yep. So, all right. Mike was organized. Like, am I caught up now? Okay, he does a couple of these. Hold on. Mike says, aliens would only come to Earth for culture. Resources more plentiful on asteroids, and no need to travel as far. Yes, we cannot compete with their tech. They could throw a rock at us and win. Rock at us, by the way. Yes, that comes, those you don't know, that actually was part of the storyline in Starship Troopers by Robert Heinlein. Did I get that right? Yeah, that's right. Yes. And the bug world literally just throws asteroids at us and screws us up. And then when the asteroid hits, it's like a nuclear bomb. So yes. He goes on to say, terrifying that people who want to believe that killing the CEO changes national policy enforced by Obama Canada laws. It's a consequence of DEI, division fitting emotions, then emotions, I think emotions, and partisan ideology. Yeah, no. I think the only thing this will change, my gut says, is it'll change how they try to protect their CEOs, right? I don't think it'll change their policy. And most of the policy, to Mike's point, is they're responding to They are responding to government incentives, right? They're responding to it. I think that's true. Yes. So, alrighty. Joel over at Rumble says, drone thing is a great example of our trust in government. The official word is nothing to see here on drones. I'm not sure if it's right or wrong. I'm not that worried right now, to be forward with you. I'm not. I think in a couple of weeks we'll figure it out. I really do. James goes on to say there's even a backlash, bipartisan backlash against Ben Shapiro right now for defending that CEO and blaming the left. It's funny how in the beginning of 2024, he had a viral song and then fell off at the end. Now, what people aren't seeing is that generally speaking, something like healthcare and this type of thing, this isn't a left or right issue, right? All of us get sick. All of us have loved ones who get sick. All of us get sick. This is a class issue, right? I say this all the time. I get why people want Medicare for all, even though I don't want Medicare for all. I understand it. The current system doesn't work and you want something better. I get it, right? My issue has always been the same thing, though. American healthcare in general is not great unless you're wealthy. If you're wealthy, it's literally the best in the world. If you are wealthy, literally the best in the world. If you're wealthy. And so wealthy people are like, why are you mad at the CEO? I buy the best healthcare on the planet. Well, I get it. If you're wealthy like Ben Shapiro doesn't worry about health insurance. Doesn't care about that. I mean, he might have it just to have it, but he didn't care. He gets sick. He writes a check to the best doctor he can find. He flies there or goes there and writes him a check and gets seen that day. That's what rich people do. He didn't care. So I get it. Of course he says that. Don't kill the CEO. Why would you do that? Well, because he doesn't know what the average person feels. When they don't get seen for months, they die because they can't be seen. When they are seen, then they get actual help if it actually works. And many people, the amount of people I know who've had doctors screw up on them, and no, wrong. It's not rich people. It's not. It's not. It's people who have to go to a doctor who's got to see 75 people to make any money. It's that person. It's the system that Mike's talking about. The system's bad. And he didn't get it. This is a class issue. It's not a left-right issue. You can be right-leaning as can be and be broke and have a horrible experience with your doctor. You can be left-leaning as can be and be broke and have a horrible experience with your doctor. Yes, 100%. So the AC says, people are pissed about inflation here. Now, China has something like 400%. It's not anymore. That is not true. To be forward, it's still bad. But inflation in Argentina has gone down, and that's the difference. They felt it. Ours actually starting to go back up. Our inflation in America is starting to go back up, and that's why we're pissed. Ours went up high, then started coming down, and now is heading back up again. Argentina has been horribly, like 400%. Now it's low. It's like 5 or 6 or something like that, which is, again, still bad. They're still in trouble. But, again, it's better. The people of Argentina can see that it's getting better. They can see it's getting less worse. There we go. That's what I will say. They can see it's getting less worse, and they know the alternative. Argentina has defaulted on its loans, what, in the past 40 years, 4 times? Oh, that could be off. Past 30 years, 3 times probably. Something like that. Argentina has defaulted on its loans many times. I think 3 times in the past 30 years. I think that's correct. They've been defaulting on their loans. We're not going to pay our debt. Sorry. Just done. More inflation, more problems. So, yeah. Absolutely. Let's see here. Vivek says, having Malay has reduced size of government spending and poverty. I only see positives with failure. People are out of jobs, Vivek. People are out of jobs. People are being hurt. Look, in my view, and I'm clearly biased, I'm libertarian. Overall, I think it's a win. And most importantly, Vivek, is people are not leaving Argentina anymore. They're staying because they have hope. That's critical. Not just that, they still support him, even though many of them are hurting. They still are. That's true. And business is coming back and opening up. And the rental market in housing has opened up. Housing prices have actually gone down. But there are problems. This is not a perfect thing. Malay is not perfect. He's made mistakes. And no matter what, he's got a tough spot. A lot of government workers are out of work, and they're struggling to pay the bills. Because, again, he cut the government. That's a bunch of jobs. People who had all those jobs are now, and this was tens of thousands of people, Vic, who now don't know what to do, don't have a job, moving up with their sister. People are struggling too. This is not just a wonderful thing. Obviously, I am biased, and I think overall this is a win. But I can't ignore that there are some people also struggling in Argentina. It's still true. People are still struggling. So, yes. All righty. Mike says, I disagree about the conversation with terrorists, especially those based on religious ideology. You are far too hopeful and optimistic. I wish it could work. I wish it could work as you envisioned. It can. It can. And I think the example of that is literally Syria right now. We're talking about a guy who was literally Al-Qaeda. He is the guy who right now is in charge. He is the guy who has a $10 million bounty on his head. And not only was he the one who was like, you should go kill that guy, he was one of the guys who would go kill that guy, right? So a lot of bad guys have blood in their hands because their henchmen do horrible things. He was also the henchman. Yet we're talking to him. I think it can work. Now, does it make him perfect? No. Does it make him wonderful? No. Will the people of Syria have less pain? At the moment, yes. That's literally happening. They are at the moment having less pain. Now, how long will that last? I don't know. But here's what I'm sure of. If we don't talk to him and just call him a terrorist and don't say that he's won the war, he's going to be like Afghanistan. How do I know that? Afghanistan. We see it. What if we don't do that? We get Vietnam. Vietnam, not the greatest place either. It's basic dictatorship, but it's not Afghanistan. People will be better off than Afghanistan, which is true. If you had people at a choice, if you could live in Afghanistan or Vietnam, you would choose Vietnam. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not promising perfection. I'm not promising a victory. I'm promising less bad. And I'm also saying, don't stop, fighting your war. I'm not saying all of a sudden stop and give hugs and kisses, right? I talked about this before. If I'm fighting in World War II, I'm still fighting the Germans. I'm not stopping the battle. I'm still doing D-Day. I'm not stopping. But I'm always talking. Are you ready to give up all your Nazis so we can just stop this war? You're not ready? We keep going. We're still fighting. We're not stopping the war. But we're open to, if you want to stop this, you can stop it. You want me to stop punching you? I'll stop punching you. Just do the thing I'm telling you, and I'll stop. You want to give us all your leadership and remove all your armies from all the places you've occupied? All right, hey, let's do that. Let's stop this war then. Or I'm just going to keep fighting. And I think the same thing can work even for this guy in Syria. Even this guy in Syria. If we alienate him and we don't talk to him, he's going to become just like Afghanistan. If we talk to him, maybe he'll be Vietnam instead. And I'll take it. I'll take a trading partner who's not going to behead his women. I'll take that. Versus not a trading partner, a place that will just basically train terrorists and be beheading their women. That's my two choices. I'll go with the guy who's not going to behead his women. I'll go with that guy. That's where I'm going. And I know that's not great. I know my options aren't amazing, Mike, but I'm not sure we have amazing options here. Again, I'm going real politique. I'm not sure we have amazing options here. Yelling at people doesn't work. Scolding doesn't work. We just keep enemies forever. So yeah. The AC says, yeah, but both Iran and have hundreds and thousands of missiles. They could easily overwhelm the Iron Dome if they had the will to deal with those consequences. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So let's not fight that battle. That's my answer. So let's not fight that battle. I don't want to fight that battle at all. That's the issue. So yeah. Oh yes, about Among Us. Yeah. I played Among Us with some of my clients, and when I did behavioral therapy, it seemed benign at first, and then became sinister. It's amazing how bullying can emerge in spaces you wouldn't expect. Yeah, I played Among Us too, and for those who don't know, they're trying to say that the things that that Luigi did, and one of the things he did was he played Among Us, and he was an assassin or whatever, that kind of dumb stuff. That's all stupid stuff. I'm with you, but Among Us can be a fun game, and it can be brutal. You are right. I put my two daughters play. I play them all the time. So yes, I haven't played in many years, but maybe last year, 2 years, maybe 2 years. My daughters used to play. So yeah, adults play the game too, but many kids do. and they bully each other like there's no tomorrow, you're totally correct. Absolutely. Yes. 100%. So, all righty. All right. So I can grab some of these. All righty. Here, Pete says, Blue Cross walked back the stupid anesthesia policy they planned on, and McDonald's CEO is bringing back the SNAP wrap. Well, you know, Pete, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Pickleball says, Ben is displaying class solidarity. That's it. You have hit it perfectly. Pinkerbell, perfectly, yes. And he can't help himself. And here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. A guy like Ben Shapiro doesn't hang around regular people. So everyone he hangs around with is of the same class. So he thinks everyone thinks like him because all of his people think this way, right? One of the reasons why I spend so much time talking to everybody is so I'm able to mix and match with the people that I meet. I meet people who make far more money than I do. People make far less money than I do. People who come from the Bronx like me. People who come from farmland. People who come from the big city. All types of people, I meet them and I talk to them. I just have conversations all the time with them. I don't want to assume that's what's in my head is what everyone else is thinking, right? It's the ultimate empathy. When you stop that, that's when things begin to fail. It's what I promised. And I talked about it when I was on my trip last weekend. When I ran for governor, I said, what if I won, I was going to sell one of the governor's helicopters. The governor has 2 helicopters. So I'm going to sell one. And then what I'm going to sell, I'm going to use to buy a bus and deck out a bus that I can run the government out of. Why? Because I want to keep traveling the state and I want to run the government out of the bus. So at least 2 weeks out of the month, I'm physically traveling someplace around the state, literally stopping the bus in small towns, running the government out of the bus so I can keep meeting people. So I can still keep having, breakfast, lunch, and dinner in diners, talking to people every day as governor. That was the goal, to have the bus. We're going to call it the SHUS. It's the Sharpe bus, the SHUS. So yeah, we'll call it the Gov bus. Maybe, I don't know, but whatever, we'll call it whatever. The goal was to literally do that. I wasn't joking because I want to make sure that I don't put myself into a world where I don't understand other people. But to be forward, some people get mad at me. I don't just want to understand the average New Yorker. I also want to understand the wealthy New Yorker too, because they put money and time and energy into the state. Also, I want to understand the small farmer, and I want to understand the big business banker. I want to talk to all of them because they all matter. So yes, I think again, I'm not excusing. To be clear, I'm not excusing his actions. I'm not. I'm explaining his actions. Of course, he would think that. That's who he hangs around with. Of course, he would. So yes. So. Anyway, all righty. Andrea says, thank you for being a member, Andrea. I don't trust doctors or the healthcare system anymore after their compliance to the pandemic. Yes, so many people think about that. So many do. Yes. Andrea, you're not alone. Guys, I'm going to ask you real fast. If you have not already, please click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. That was for you, Mike. Please do that. It's important. Click that button now. If you have not, do so. Hammer it, punch it, whatever it, doesn't matter. Please do so. Elbow, smash it, whichever, does not matter. And please share this. Put this into a Facebook group. Share this on Twitter. Share this any place you want to share it. Put it into. Are you on like Getter or something? Share on Getter. You're on Parler. Put it on Parler. Are you on one of those things? Put it up there. Put it on Blue Sky. You're on Blue Sky. Put it there too. Doesn't matter. Put it any way you want. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed. Every subscription matters, guys. Also follow me. Follow me. If you haven't followed me on Facebook, I don't know why you hate me. Follow me on X, whatever the case may be. Super chats. If you want a super chat, they go right to the front. Right to the front immediately. If you can do that, helps the show. And of course, number one thing is membership. Again, tonight or tomorrow, it's going to be the end. I know I've been giving you guys more time because some people wanted a bit more time because Garrett yesterday put a bunch of new memberships out. So I'm going to go. I've decided to wait until today or tomorrow to pick 3 people for this Monday show. It'll be Monday at 8 p.m. If the people I pick want it to be a keto show, it will be so if they want to. Otherwise, it will not be a keto show. I'll do a separate show on keto, but either way, there'll be 3 members and me this Monday, 8 p.m., December 16th. Become a member, $49 per month, or grab one of Garrett's whenever he throws them out there, because he does often. When he does so, either one does not matter, and it helps the show tremendously. I do appreciate it. So yes, all righty. Let's see if I can go down here. P says thoughts on recent love. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I'm sorry, guys. I know a lot of people want me to know so many things. I can't always see everything. I run short on time. I still work during the day, sadly. Maybe one day I won't. If enough people become members, I can stop working and I can just do that. So I have not seen it. So I'll have to look at it. I'm behind on many things. And I do most of these shows, as you know, just through memory. So I have to like absorb it and get it so I can talk about it. And I don't just want to be able to recount. That's not valuable for most of you. So I want to be able to give opinion on it and context. So I haven't seen it. So I apologize. Give me homework. I got more stuff to do. More stuff, guys. Okay. I got more stuff I got to do. There we go. I got to watch that next. There we go. Carl says, what's a keto show? Okay. Keto. Keto, as in ketogenic. The ketogenic diner lifestyle. I'm sorry, is what that is. And a lot of people are on it and they asked about that. So I want to go do a show about that. I've been on keto lifestyle for almost 15 years now. So people want to talk about that, what they mean, why they would do it, that kind of stuff. So yes. Juan says, when you become governor, how do I apply for a job on that bus? Juan, if I become governor, I will need guys like you. So you will have a job. Whether you want to be on a bus or not, it's up to you. You can come on a bus. Or, again, I'm running the government from the bus. If you want to join me on the bus, you can, or you can work from Albany or whatever. I don't mind. As long as you get your job done, you pick, my brother. You pick. All good. Yes. All righty. Piggyback says the sus among us tie-in. Not the sus, the shus. Shus. But sus is not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, I could try that. Yeah, I could try that. Not bad. Yeah. Okay. I got that. Yes. Let me grab a couple of these if I could. So many of these coming up. I appreciate this. All righty. Sarah says aliens not coming for the keto. No, I think you're right. I think you're right. Yes. Yeah. All righty. Thomas says, could the drones be an entrepreneur who's testing their flying car concept at night to avoid regulation and competition? That would be amazing. Oh my God, I hope that's true, Tom. I don't think so, but that'd be amazing. Wouldn't it be amazing? Then all of a sudden he's got a flying cars coming out. I hope so. That'd be nice. So yes. All righty. So I grab some of these last ones. Okay. Kate says, that's UHC's business model. You pay for it before it's off. Yes. 1819 Jackie says, romanticizing a killer is immoral and sadly, very, very common, Jackie. Very common. This is going to sound silly because it feels silly, but it's true. Oh my God, do women love a bad boy? I'm just telling you, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be sexist. I'm just telling you the truth. Women love a bad boy. Oh my God. The amount of women who are like, oh, he's so sexy. Oh my God. Women love, particularly young women, love a bad boy. So romanticizing killers, whether it's immoral or not, it is insanely common, insanely popular, done so much. Yes, yes, and yes. So I'm not saying you're wrong, Jackie. Please understand. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's true. It's just true. So yeah, sorry about that. There we go. It's just insanely true. So, all righty. Pinky Bro says, especially a really cute one. No, you're right. You're right. Pinky Bro, it's just true. It's how it works. Absolutely. Yes. Liberty of Death says, yeah, women are really dumb with the bad boy thing. Not dumb. That's the wrong thing. There is something, I don't know what it is, but there is something in many women, not all obviously, but clearly lots of women, particularly younger ones, that they're just drawn to the aggression, the assertiveness, the confidence, the strength of a bad boy. As he says, yeah, it's primal. Yes, it's not stupid. It is just a common thing. It is a popular thing, particularly young women, old women too. This is not just young women thing, but particularly young women. A lot of young women just love a bad boy. They do. And it's there. All right. You can be mad at it all you want. You can, whatever. It's just true. Christine even says it. She's like, oh, the bad boy, story of my life. Done with that. Jesus' life. See, that's what's a young woman. Older women, and older is completely depending upon their own personal experience is. If they get burned by bad boys earlier, they become savvier earlier. If they haven't been burned as much, it takes them some more time before they figure out, oh, this bad boy thing, maybe not great. So maybe not great. So yeah, absolutely. Andrea says, maybe it's the masculine of the act. I'm sure it's that too, right? To IC's point, it's not just that a woman goes randomly, I decide I like a bad boy. No, there's something primal that a lot of particularly young women really, they're attracted to it. They like it. And it doesn't have to be a murderer. I mean, that's like the furthest, right? It would just be some, whatever, tough guy. I don't know if what a cool kids wear today, but back in my day, a tough guy wore like a leather jacket or whatever, right? Whatever that equivalent is today. When I was young, it was like the leather jacket guy, whatever. Is that still a cool guy now? Whatever that is. I don't know what the bad boy wears today, but it is. It's whatever the bad boy is. So yes, absolutely, 100%. Missy goes, I do love the bad boy. It's true. It's true. She's teasing. She goes, bad boy for life. Yeah. Alan says they're romanticized until they're on the end of violence. Even once won't knock some sense. That's sometimes true, right? That's some, and this is the sad part for some women. Some women love that bad boy so much that when it physically hurts them, and I mean physical, sometimes they won't leave. You're right. That's when, in my view, it's gone too far. Look, if a woman just goes and sees a bad boy and goes, he's hot, and can say that and accept that, okay, that's fine, right? But to your point, she now tries to marry him or have kids with him and all that stuff, and then he's beating whatever, and then she stays. Now you've gone too far. But I can understand a woman just like being attracted to it. It doesn't mean you have to take action. I can look at a woman and go, oh, she's hot, and not have to take action. You just go, oh, she's hot, and then move on. And I could see a woman being attracted or acknowledging the attractiveness of a bad boy, but then, not doing it. So yeah. Sarah says, don't men love bad girls? A little bit different, I would say. I think a lot of men, they don't love them. No. They desire, what's the word I'll use? I'll use the word easy. How about that? They desire, not love, they desire easy girls. That's true. That is accurate. They desire easy girls. They don't love them. They don't. They desire them, though. That's true. They don't fall in love with it. Well, some men do, but most men do not fall in love with easy girls. Most don't. Some do. Most don't. But they desire easy girls. That's true. So yeah, just saying. There we go. All right. Kate says the romance of crime is overrated, but Mangione has abs. Accurate too. Yes. Pinkerbell's teasing me for my age. She goes, leather jacket, Fonzie. I know I'm old, Pinkerbell. What do you do? I did watch Happy Days. I did. I'm old enough to have watched Happy Days. I don't know what the bad boys wear today. Whatever they wear. Do they have like big tattoos or something? I don't know. I'm not out there doing that, Pinkerbell. You got to tell me, what do the bad boys wear? Whatever they do. They have big tattoos. Is that what they have? The big tattoos on the arm? Is that what it is? Maybe. So yes, absolutely. Sarah says, hopefully Larry's daughters listen to this one. My oldest daughter, who is in the dating world, my youngest one really isn't. She's not really dating. She's not like bad boys. She doesn't. She's not like bad boys. I'm hoping that I have influenced her into that. I'm hoping that's me. I don't know. But yes, she's not into bad boys. Not her thing. Christine says the bad boys end up being 6-year-old dishwashers. Go for the nerds, girls. You'll have a good life. Yes, but I'm just saying, I like it, but I'm just saying, are they hot? Women do want hot men too, right? They want that too. Pinkerbell says, a lot of times by the time abuse progresses to physical, the person being abused is already trapped. These things escalate in isolation is one of the first parts of the cycle. Agreed. Yes. And I think there's a cycle that keeps going, right? Pinkerbell, I think if you have a mom who has done this, you're more likely to do the same thing, right? We very often follow our parents. Not always, obviously, but much more. The odds are higher, right? As I always say, life is two things. Life is habits and life is odds. The better habits you have, the higher the odds of success. The worse habits you have, the lower your odds of success. Doesn't mean you won't have success. You can be lucky either way. You can be unlucky either way, but just odds. So if your mom has gone through it, the odds are higher you'll go through it. Hopefully you'll see it and not, but the odds are against you. The odds are you have to go through it too. So if your mom was in a bad spot like that, you'll probably be in a bad spot. Hopefully, to Christine's point, you'll learn and go, okay, this was, well, first of all, what Pinkabell, hopefully you'll get yourself out of it before you're in such a bad spot. Some people are in a spot where they're actually trapped. One thing I tell my daughters always is never feel trapped. Always know, no matter what, you call me. You email me, you text me, you call me. You always have money in your pocket. You always have an Uber app. You always have a credit card, always. If anyone ever makes you feel trapped, you immediately call me. I will not ask any questions. Your mother will ask questions. Don't call her later and tell her later. When you're feeling trapped, you call me. I will drop what I'm doing. I will come get you, or I will send someone to come get you. When I have friends, and if it's a situation I have to send certain types of friends, I will send friends to come get you, or I will come get you. I may bring my friends with me, but we will come get you, and we will ask all the questions after you are safe. I will ask you not one question until after we are safe. I tell my daughters this all the time. Never feel trapped. I will always come get you, no matter what. Text me, whatever. And I'm not going to tell you what those words are, but we actually have safe words. So if my daughters use a certain word, I know that I need to come get them. I've already put this in since they were teenagers. We've already had words. If we're talking back and forth, whether it's on a phone or text, and they use a specific word, if they use that word in any context, I know, come get them now, call 911, they're in trouble, go get them. So I'm in that, Tinkerbell. I'm with you. I was already worried. I already thought about it. I'm already there. And I would ask, if you have children, anyone who has children, give them a word that they may use in via text or talking on the phone, that if they have their abuser with them or someone who's with them, that they will not know that it's an odd word to use. Use that word where they would never use in another case. Use that word and make sure it's English. This way the person does not think that it's some kind of scam or something. And then call the cops, go get them. It's a very important thing. So yes. P, thank you for the $5, my friend. People would think differently if the CEO literally ended people. It's the legal ending that drives us insane. Sorry, YT makes me edit. Yes, you're correct. I totally get it. It does. Yes, right. If he was pulling the trigger, we would think differently, but he's not. But is he responsible? Yes. Yes. Pete says, Larry, thanks for the show. So I sidetracked you with drones. Have a good night. No, please, guys. Of course. Yes. Literally Death says, you're not a bad boy if you hit women. You're just a P. You are correct. You should not be doing that. Yes. 100%. Yes. All right. Andrea says, bad boys wear Sharpe Way hoodies. Oh, Larry, Sharpe hoodies. Tough guy. I'm a tough guy, Andrea. Bad boy. Tough guy. Yes. Sarah says, I think we all replay our relationships with our parents, most to our own detriment. I think what most of us do, Sarah. I wish there was a way of stopping it. I do, right? And I try my best to not be. And I'll give you a story that you guys may enjoy. I've gone out of my way to not do that. I loved my father, and he passed when I was young. My father was not a good husband. He cheated on my mom in front of me, and I hated it. He hurt my mom. I don't like it at all. I have been 100% loyal in that regard. I don't do that. Do I have desire to? I'm human, of course. I'm tempted. Of course I am. I'm human. Of course I'm tempted. But I won't do it to my kids. I won't do it. Am I tempted? Of course. Is there a part of me that thinks it's kind of natural because I saw my father do it? Sarah, of course. I'm a human being. Of course I'm influenced by these things. It doesn't mean I have to act. I can change my habits and not do it. And one thing, and people will laugh at me, but if you know who I am and how I work, I care about discipline. It matters to me. I care about environment. It matters to me. So I have some Mike Pence types of things. There were times when people would wonder why I wouldn't be seen with any women at night alone. Because I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. If you were a woman and you would say, hey, Larry, let's have dinner together. With who? Me and you. I'm busy. No, I wouldn't do it. Why? I never wanted to put myself in that position. Would I cheat? I don't want to find out, Sarah. I don't want to find out. So I'm not going to put myself in that position, so it's not going to happen. I don't want to gamble and see if I'll be a good boy or not. No. Not going to happen. I had a lot of those rules. So people, when Mike Pence's rules like that, and people laughed and I'm like, no, that's smart. He's going to be loyal to his wife. That's good rules. Do more of that. He probably had a father who probably stepped out on his mom a bunch of times. He doesn't want to be that. So he took action to not be that. So I take action to not be that guy, because you are correct. I don't want to replay that. That's not a good example for my daughters. I don't want them not to play that game. So I don't. But Larry, now you might not be able to hang out with some chick at night. Yes, okay. I guess I'll deal with that. We'll have to have breakfast or lunch or other people, but not me and you together. Not going to happen. Larry, that's sexist. I don't care. Not going to happen. I'm not putting myself in that position. Larry, you're weak. We'll never know, will we? Maybe, but we'll never know. So that's what I'm saying. Pickleball says healthy boundaries is important. Yes, absolutely. Luda says, I've definitely been tempted to mess around on my wife's back, but I have 2 daughters, and I really like that I didn't have to have daddy issues. So exactly how I feel, liberty or death. Yes, that is why I'm the same way. Same way. My daughters know I've never cheated on their mom. Never. Never happened. Not even once. Never happened. I'll say it publicly. Never happened. And why? Please look for a time when you saw me hanging out with somebody. You didn't see it. If I was at dinner with some woman, there were other people around. It wasn't just me and her. 100%. Yep. Christine says, if a father sets a good example, what a man should be in relation to a woman, their daughters are more likely to choose a good man. I hope that's true. I'm trying, Christine. I hope you're right. I'm trying. Absolutely. I am trying so much. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, anyway, we went way off topic, but yes, don't we always go off topic? So we kind of always do, but that's okay. That's why this show was good. Guys, I'm going to ask one more time. If you haven't become a member, if you can, please do so. It's $5 a month. It keeps me going. I do more of this and less work, which is what I want to do. If you want to super chat me, always goes to the front. I appreciate it. If you're watching on Twitter, please share it. It's free. Please do so. Please subscribe and follow if you can. Hit the button known as like. It does matter. Every like does count. It's how I get unshadow banned. Please do so. I want to wrap this up with this one idea. And that is, I think we should always be talking to all the people around the world, enemies, friends, foes, doesn't matter. We should be talking. It doesn't mean we shouldn't be diligent. It doesn't mean we shouldn't be vigilant. It doesn't mean we should stop fighting. It doesn't mean any of those things. But we should always be talking. Even when fighting. We are fighting a proxy war against the Russians right now. Still talk. Always talk. Keep the communication open. Why? I don't care about being righteous. I care about saving lives. If we can end the wars and get what we want without having to keep fighting, let's stop. If we can't, look, some people want to keep fighting to the end. Okay, then you're going to fight then. But I'm going to keep my ears are going to be open regardless of how long we fight. When it comes to the pomp, I got it right, AC, the pomp and circumstance, I think this is not the place that we want she or anyone else to be. That's not what it's about. So I want to make sure that part is clear. Let me grab a couple more of these if I could before we wrap this up. Andrea, if you are married or in a committed relationship, it's a good rule to not be alone with someone of the opposite sex. Yes, unless you're obviously related in some way, right? Like mother, father, something, whatever, obviously. But yeah, I agree with you. I think generally speaking, that's true. There are some exceptions, but I was vigilant. Andrea, I was vigilant. I did not want, yes, I agree. Pickleball says, Christine is right. Doesn't always work out, but the odds are better. Yes, right? I'm putting the odds in my favor. I'm putting the odds in my favor. 100%. Yes, I'm putting the odds in my favor. Yes, absolutely. So P says, love. Oh, thank you for $2. I do appreciate that. Yes, 100%. That is great. So yeah, let's just stay away from the bad boys, ladies. You know what? Yes, I would agree with him. Look, I want to be very clear. If you stay away from the bad boys, things are better for everybody, even the good boys. So women, if I give you any advice, don't get me wrong, I'm not giving tons of advice to, but for the case of the women in this case, stay away from bad boys. They're not good. Guys, once this is over, do me a favor, please. Once it's over, put a comment. You know I respond to them, and it helps the algorithm. Oh, I said it out loud. Hopefully I don't punish you for that. Mr. Rhythm, Al, middle name Gore. He likes it. Please do so. I will be back on tomorrow at 7 o'clock. I hope 7, maybe 7:30. I hope 7. I will see you all very soon.